you have a subconscious mind. So 80% is done by the time you're 8. Then another 15% is done by the time you're 18. So that means 95% of your subconscious programming was already done by the time you're 18, which means you only have 5% left for the whole rest of your life. The good news is that 5% can change the other 95. And that's what I teach people is how to do. So we rechange some of that programming so that you can actually go, oh, I can do this, and here's how to do it. But sometimes, again, the impossible stuff. One of the chapters in my book is called Miracles Happen Every Day. It's because they do. And I can teach people how to do it, but sometimes it's like you don't even know how to explain it. You just I just thought I could get this done. And I'll give an example. I had a friend of mine looking for something, and I said, tell your subconscious mind to tell you where it is. And I said, do this as you're going to sleep at night. It's called a bedtime intention. So as you're going to bed, give your subconscious mind is up all night anyway. Give it something to do. So if you have a problem, tell it, I'd like to solve this problem. And this is important information. And I'd like the answer to come to me when I wake up tomorrow. So that way it doesn't disturb your sleep. And I'd like it to come to me with grace and ease. Because I'll give an example. One time someone said that without the grace and ease part. And as they were driving to work, they had a bad accident, which got them out of the job that they're in, which they hated. And that was the answer that they wanted. What should I do to get out of this job? Well, he had a car accident, broke his leg, and he can't do the job. So if you ask for grace and ease, maybe you go without that. You can get the answer without they can go, oh, you've been laid off and we're going to give you money. As opposed to, I had broken my leg and I can't do the job. So there's that. Anyway, so that's how life is. There's a subconscious part that you've been programmed. Sometimes it's by your parents, sometimes by teachers, sometimes by society. Everybody gets a different program, and you can have siblings in the same place that don't get the same program. So, there's a lot of difference. So I work with individuals and help them in a different way to know their program. And I don't give them the answers. I mean, know what I would do in that situation, but I don't tell them that's what I do. I'd go, let's help you find out what you, and there's that third part of you, that higher self, knows the answers for you. Let's connect with that and let's get the answer so you know what you need to do.
Amazing.
Am I talking too much?
No, I love it. So I live for these topics. Okay. And in fact, like some of this stuff is what I work with some of my coaching clients on, is like mindset. And I'm just sitting here because it's so enjoyable for me to hear, because I feel so connected to the information, because I had to make a huge change in my life. And I always say, and I've said many times on this podcast, is like, choice is a gift, and it begins with what you choose, right?
Yep.
And I just love it. And I was thinking about how you said you went to these authors and you had a transformational experience. Mine was Tony Robbins. I had 2 experiences going to his events that sort of rewired me in a way. And so those things helped me get unstuck. And but ultimately it was my choice. It was like you said, my recognition of the fact that I was stuck, and that the choice that I made to become unstuck, and then I went looking for help. Right. And so now every year, Tony Robbins offers a free YouTube, like a free seminar he does.
Yeah.
And it's like kind of a sales promotion for his upcoming seminars right through the year. But he does drop some knowledge. And so I go for like a little tweak and I experience that. And I think that if you can find stuff that resonates with you like that, I think it can completely put your life on a completely different trajectory. But before we go on, Phil has a question for you. So I'm going to put it up there on the screen and let you answer that.
Okay.
if you're listening to the podcast in audio form and you're not watching it, Phil said, please describe my higher self. He wants to know what that is.
Okay. So you've got three. So you got your ego, which is your conscious self. You've got your subconscious, like I told you, this is the programming you get through your life. And then you get your higher self. The higher self is a third part of you that there's all different words that can be used for it, but I just call it your higher self because there's a part of you that has answers that are your answers. Like, should I do this? And I go, I don't know if you should do this, but your subconscious, your higher self part does know. So there's ways of getting a hold of that part. So there's all different ways of doing it. I'll give you one way. So I do this, it's called non-dominant handwriting. And what you do is you write a question. So you actually have to have a pen and paper. And you write a question with your dominant hand that says, I want to know about X, whatever that might be. Then you take that pen, you put it in your non-dominant hand, and you answer the question. And that higher self will give you the answer. Now, the handwriting won't be as good because it's not as practiced, but it'll be there. It may look like scribbling, but you look and you take time to read it. That will be an answer. And the thing is, you'll know it's the right answer. You'll just feel, you'll go like, that makes so much sense to me now. So the higher part of you is the part of you that knows what your life is about, that knows what you need to do in certain situations. But unless you actually address it, it's riding in the back seat of your car. It's there. It's always there. But it's letting you drive thinking, yeah, well, let's see how he does it this time. And then it observes. So it knows everything that's happening, which is good. If you come at, like, if you're driving and you come to a fork in the road and you go, should I go right or left? If you would be quiet, there's a party that knows. And if you get really quiet, you'll go, I don't know why. I think I should go right. Okay, go right. I bet you 9 out of 10 times you'll be exactly where you want to be. So that's the kind of information you can get. So that's only one way. I know lots of ways to get a hold of this person. Not really a person, but there's a thought called a collective unconscious. And that's where there's this, like, it's like, what do they call those things now? Damn, my brain is tired. I need more caffeine. The thing that you upload, your computer gets uploaded to the cloud. Okay. It's like a cloud of information, but it's like not just your information. It's like everybody's information. They've proven that this exists, and I'll tell you how. For instance, the London Times does a crossword puzzle on Sunday. And so a certain number of people will get it on Sunday. Will get the answer. Then some more people get it Monday, more people do. People who do it on Friday get the answers a lot quicker because so many people have solved the puzzle already. That collective unconscious has got all that information up there, and you can connect to that, and then you can do it much quicker. So we like to call the man-made version the internet, which has a lot of the same kind of situation. But this is, imagine that you're not connected to the internet, but you are with your brain, that you can connect to different things about how to do certain things. Believe it or not, you can get information out, stuff you would not know otherwise, and it'll come to you, and or you can be inspired to do different things. You can get dreams. Paul McCartney, he got Yesterday, the song. He got that in like one fell swoop in a early morning dream, and he wrote it down, and he thought, this is great, but I probably heard it someplace else. And he kept asking everybody, have you heard of this? And they go, no. Well, now it's the most copied song ever. But it was given to him from that collective unconscious, which again is part of your higher self. That's how you connect to it. So that's kind of a long answer to that, but I could describe it in other terms for different people. But basically, that's that higher part of you that knows what you need to know about your life and how to live it,
Thank you
which
for
helps you
that.
with making choices.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for that question, Phil, by the way. Of course, as you all know, if you're watching live, don't just sit there. You can join the conversation by posting a comment or asking a question, and I love those. So thank you, Phil. And that's why we meditate, right? Because when we meditate, we can tap into that collective subconscious. Is that what you called it? Collective
Unconscious.
consciousness?
Yeah.
Consciousness. And
Unconscious. Yeah.
then we also can connect to our higher self, which, like you said, has so many answers. And you know what else I was thinking of when you were talking about this? I was thinking about how, you know, how sometimes you'll get an idea.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be like, oh my gosh, this is such a good idea. I should do this. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just, for some reason, you don't get around to doing it.
I
Oh,
know where you're going.
here's a perfect example.
Yeah.
So a couple of years ago, right, I was like, maybe I should change up my podcast a little bit. And I was like, you know what I think I should do? I should go on social media and take clips from some of the interesting reels and shorts that I'm seeing, and I should talk about it on a segment of my podcast, right? And I was like, yeah, I have to figure out how I want to do that because the software I'm using will make it kind of difficult to post the videos. And I was trying to think about like the mechanics of doing it at that time. Oh my God, if I didn't this year start seeing people doing that,